Hey everybody, it's me, Terry with the Drone Cab. Beautiful, beautiful Florida day today. I could not be any better. It's a little hot, could be a little cooler. But other than that, it's gorgeous out today. Little David Lynchy, we have beautiful pale blue skies, puffy clouds. I don't know what the temperature is. It's like 167 or whatever. This is Florida, right? It stays hot. Couple of things, a little bit of housekeeping right off the bat. This past weekend was my birthday on Saturday. I want to thank everybody that sent me a message on social media, thought about me, calls. Fantastic gifts from my girl Kelly. It was just amazing stuff, and it really makes me feel special. And I appreciate you guys helping me celebrate my 19th birthday. So anyway, it's a little more serious. Living here in Florida, we obviously have a lot of storms and tropical weather and hurricanes and stuff come through. And we've sort of dodged a bullet this week with 2 hurricanes right now. Today's Wednesday the 26th, so you'll be seeing this later because, of course, this is pre-recorded. But there are 2 storms moving through the Gulf right now, heading toward the coast, up around, looks like Texas, Louisiana area, making landfall. I want to wish everybody in those areas safety, and I do have super close people up there. The Wagners, for example, here in our Brigade family, are in that area. Guys, be safe. We're going to be staying around on top of you. But anybody in that area, or have loved ones or family or friends or anybody in that area, just send them the best. And this stuff, sometimes it blows over and just a bunch of rain and wind and knocks a couple trees down. Other times it gets a lot more serious. So, our hearts go out to everybody up there. Again, buckle down, stay safe, do all the right things. And, we'll be here for you getting through all this garbage. So anyway, past couple episodes, we shifted gears. We talking about technology and stuff like that a little bit more. I've been getting out and flying the Mavic Air 2 some, and I know we've been talking about it some, but it's been tough to get out because we had kind of nasty weather here the past couple weeks. It's been sort of unpredictable. It's that time of year in Florida. So today I'm going to just walk you through some settings, and the bonus is you don't have to look at me through the whole video this time. We're going to look at, you're going to actually follow me on a flight. I'm not going to do anything real crazy, not going high or really actually out to shoot anything in particular. I'm just going to put the drone in the air so I can go through a couple steps to show you how some of these settings that have been recently added to the sky really add to the cinematographer's toolbox. Ways to set up the controls of the thing to fly and also handle the gimbal in some really cool ways. And again, you tie that, a powerful set of physical tools and software, firmware tools with your creativity. This is just tough to beat for the money. I'm going to be doing a bunch of shoots coming this fall and beyond, and I've got a couple of these, and this is going to be flying it. I mean, you will be amazed, honestly. And interestingly, the past few days I've been comparing notes with some other drone guys that are in the community. I mean, we talk and we have our own little thing. And one guy pointed out that, of course, he flies bigger drones. He flies on really big budget things and uses kind of big, expensive drones. And obviously there's going to be a difference if you're flying like a $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 rig compared to a $1,000 rig. Yeah, all right. It's kind of to be seen. But he also flies sort of mid-range rigs like a DJI Inspire. And you're going to be in the $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 range there. And he's telling me that putting some of the footage, depending on, and again, this guy's an experienced shooter, knows what he's doing. You can compare the results from this guy with the Inspire, which is a few years old, so it's not the latest technology. And his exact words were, it ain't $6,000 worth of difference in quality. It is amazing the results coming out of this. So again, I sell this all the time. Size doesn't always matter when it comes to drones. These smaller mid-range drones are much more portable, and they are really getting the emphasis from the developers, from the engineers, to pack a lot of functionality in these guys. So, and lastly, I want to give a big huzzah to Lance Dale. Lance and I've been talking for quite a while, and he's a great brother here in the Indy Brigade, and we've been bouncing back and forth about some drone models because Lance has been wanting to get into droning and explore it and just get started and see what he wants to do with it. So we bounced around some models, went back and forth, a bunch of questions, and again, I always say, contact me, call me if you have a question, shoot me an email, PM me, whatever. That's what I'm here for, to talk. And so it was so cool talking to Lance. We compared specs on a bunch of models, blah, 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 back and forth. Lance got himself a Mavic Mini, which is the little brother to this. You know I have one. And he has been out flying the impellers right off of that thing. And I am so happy to see that. He's really, really getting out there. He's flying good, flying safe. He's been sending me some of his images, and he's going to do really well. And of course, I'm going to be there. We're actually talking a little earlier today, and we're going to get into a little more advanced stuff as we move along. So, you know, congratulations, Lance, man. You're going to love that. Before you know it, you're going to have one of these in your hands. And I'm here. If you have any questions, you need anything at all, anybody, that's what I'm here for. So let's get you up in there. Let's look at some settings today, and let's have fun shooting some just amazing, amazing stuff. All right, we're going up in the air. Okay, first thing we need to do is open the DJI Fly app. That's the one up in the top left corner, the little white icon. So, we're connected there. Take just a quick look at our screen here. Go over a couple things. Top left corner, we're in N mode. That is normal mode. On the controller, you have a switch with 3 positions: tripod, normal, and sport. So, I mentioned this in the last episode, but tripod just makes the drone fly slower and smoother, so it gives you much better cinematic shots. Normal is a bit faster, and it's just sort of an average between the tripod, the slow, and the sport, which is really fast. So we're in N mode now. Takeoff permitted. That's an important thing. That means we have a GPS lock on the satellites. Over to the right, see that little green circle with 100 in there? Tap that, it gives us battery information. And next to that, the RC control strength, we have very good strength. Bottom left corner, we have our altitude and distance away. And bottom right, exposure value and auto exposure lock and automatic settings. Again, today we're not getting into all these fine camera settings. We're talking about some control settings. So we're not going to get real crazy about it. Now, I've already done the pre-flight checklist. One thing I always like to do is take my scroll wheel, check the gimbal range, make sure the gimbal's moving nice. All right, so let's pull the sticks in. And now, this is a new safety thing. We can turn this on or off. I leave it on. Even as much as I've flown, a little reminder never hurts. So we're going to say the check is complete, that the props are checked tight and secure. Now we can do sticks in, and takeoff is permitted.
The home port is connected. Please check it on the map.
So we're going to come up a little bit. And we are just going to come around this way and find us a position we like. Ignore the man under the tree. And let's just sort of work with a shot kind of like this. You guys are going to get so familiar with my neighborhood, right? So, I'm going to take us up a bit because you may be hearing a little beep. That is our obstacle avoidance sensor seeing that it's close to the house there. Alright, so there we go. So we're just going to use this as sort of an image. Let's go up just a little bit. About far, we're up about 26 feet. As you can see down the bottom left corner, the drone's about 29 feet, 28, 29 feet away from where I'm standing. That's distance from the controller. Okay, now up in the top right corner, you can see these 3 little dots. We're going to tap that. Now that gives us our control settings. It's really easy to use because it's right there. It's handy in front of you all the time. So, a few things here we're going to take a look at. Again, there's a lot of settings in here. We're not going to go through every single one, but some of the important ones that will make a difference. Now, it's the very first thing at the top. You see flight assistance. Now, the obstacle avoidance action, you can have it do a few things. We can set it right here to bypass, which is really cool. So if the drone approaches something that it can detect, now again, it's not going to detect little fine things like a power line or a thin tree limb or something like that. It's going to detect things like walls or big trees or more substantial obstacles. It's going to be able to calculate and avoid those. Now again, this isn't something that I recommend live and die by. It's like, just fly crazy. You don't have to worry about it. It'll miss it. Well, yeah, for the most part, but it's more of a backup, really, in my opinion. It keeps you out of trouble or helps keep you out of trouble. You should really always rely on your manual flying skills and keep the drone in your line of sight so you know what's going on at all times. Now, the next option is to brake. So if it approaches an obstacle, instead of going around it, over it, or whatever, it'll just put on the brakes and just come to a stop. Now off, you can turn that off. There are situations where you don't want the obstacle avoidance on. For example, if you're flying something, again, it's going to be a bit more advanced, but like flying indoors or something where you're going to have a lot of walls and things around. Remember, you've got obstacle avoidance sensors front and rear. So you have to think about your proximity to other objects when you're flying. So we have that stuff. Now this is a cool one. Just below that, you'll see disable sideways flight. Well, what does that do? Well, it's pretty interesting because the drone, as you fly, can, with your sticks, you can sometimes bump it to the left or right and create a little left or right motion as you're moving forward or backward. So if you want to minimize that and you want to make sure the drone flies in a straight line forward and straight line back, you can disable the sideways flight. So that's pretty cool. Now, that also goes hand in hand with the fact that the drone does not have sideways sensors, or obstacle avoidance sensors. So you could, pretty easily, if you weren't paying attention, fly into something sideways, and the front and rear sensors aren't going to detect it because they are front and rear sensors, not side sensors. So that's a neat little safety thing there too. But it also can be used as a creative tool for doing things like an active track or an object lock, where you want to move straight in on a subject. And I've got a really cool episode coming up about doing dolly zoom, where I use that. We can scroll down. There's a few things here that you want to be familiar with. Not going to get into them, but your maximum altitude, your maximum distance, and your return to home altitude. I keep that around 100, but you always want to have that higher than the highest obstacle that you're flying around. Now we can jump over here to the control. That was the next step along the top there. Here in the US, and I'm kind of old school, so I go with imperial, feet, miles per hour, all that kind of stuff. The gimbal has follow mode and FPV mode. The follow mode keeps the gimbal horizon level at all times, no matter what the drone does. I'll give you a little example. I'm going to kind of jostle back and forth here a little. Rough. Now the drone, you can't see it because it's up in the air, it's really pitching back and forth, but you don't see much of that moving around, right? Looks nice and stable. Now FPV mode will change and see if you can see much difference. It's kind of hard to see, but we're getting a bit of tilt there, so it's just tough to see on the short distance I'm flying because it's kind of a tight environment here. Now, one thing below that I really like is to allow upward gimbal rotation. Now, as it's set now, the gimbal, you can see right below the histogram, there's a gauge there with a red dot. It'll disappear in a second when I don't use it. This tells us how many degrees of tilt we're applying to the gimbal. Let's go turn that rotation on. Go back. Now, see, it gives me about 24 more degrees of upward tilt. So now we get a pretty wide range of vertical tilt there. So it adds to that, and the cool thing is it also keeps the props out of the shot. DJI, with their last firmware update, added that to keep those props out of the shot. So that's one thing that's important when you're tilting the gimbal up, because it allows you to get those props in the shot. Now we'll take a look at advanced gimbal settings. This people, is where it gets cool. This is I love this. This is just such cool stuff. Now, remember I said we have 3 flight modes. We have tripod, we have normal, we have sport. Okay, well, each one of those can have basically the same parameters set for each mode. So if you look here at the very top, you'll see it says normal mode. I'm going to scroll down a bit, and you see tripod mode, and then down at the bottom sport mode. But notice it's all the same settings: pitch speed, pitch smoothness, yaw speed, yaw smoothness. All right, that's cool, because if you have unique settings you want for each one of those modes, you can just do that right there, and you've got those saved for each flight mode setting. So, what is pitch speed? If I could actually speak, I'm going to turn pitch speed all the way up to 100. Now, I'm going to tilt the gimbal and see what happens. Wow. Boom. Fast, right? It's also kind of jerky and funky, right? So I'm going to turn it back down to about 15. Now I'm going to do the pitch. I'm pulling the wheel all the way. Notice it's a lot slower, a lot smoother. Now the pitch smoothness, let's turn that all the way down. I'm going to bring that camera down and just let off the wheel. Now see what happens? Boom. Stop. 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 It's not messing around. It's just coming to a dead stop. Okay, let's bring it back up. See? Stop, stop, stop. Let's turn that smoothness way up. I'm just kind of exaggerating here so you can see. And I'm going to move the wheel. I'm going to hold it to the extreme and just let go of it. Let go. See how it kind of coasted to a stop? It put the brakes on smoother. Let's do that one more time. Let go. Smooth. Back up. Let go. Let go. See, it gives you that nice smooth braking, so you don't have to. Again, I say this all the time. You know, it's best to really refine your manual flying skills, and you can do all this manually anyway. But when you've got so many things going on and so many things to think about, it's just another tool that can make things easier for you to get really nice shots with. Now, yaw speed and yaw smoothness is basically the same thing. So I'm going to turn the yaw speed up to 90, and I'm going to rotate. Wow, that's pretty zippy. Hey, let's bring the camera down so we get a little something to look at least. Alright. Now I'm going to turn that yaw speed down. Let's put that down to about 20. It's pretty low there, so it's going to move smooth. Now I'm moving the stick all the way to the extreme. Pretty slow. So we can bring that up. Yaw smoothness, it does the same thing. We've got down to nothing. Notice boom, boom, boom. Just comes to that real abrupt stop. Let's turn that smoothness way up. We're going to exaggerate it to the max. Let go. Let go. Let go. Man, that guy's still hanging out under that tree. Let go. So see, it gives you a little smoother stop there. Now again, I've been messing with these in normal mode. You can do these in all 3 of the modes to get them dialed in just the way you want, and save that way. Alright, so let's change our angle here just a little bit. Let's go up just a bit. We're going to come down. Just kind of change our view a little bit. Okay. Now, we're going to take a look at some new camera things. The next few episodes, we're just going to bombard. So this is a little introduction. Of course, you can shoot in 4K, 2.7, and 1080. 24 frames, up to 60 frames per second. Cool, cool stuff. Let's get back down to 24. Next column over from the left, 4K wide. That would be your normal 4K setting. But look right below it. Look at this. 4K zoom. Zoom. We now have zoom built in here. So in 4K, it will give us a 2 times optical zoom. Now, see the red button over to the right? That is our record button if we were going to hit for the camera to begin recording. And right next to it, we have a control there to do 1 or 2 times zoom. If we touch and hold it, it's a little tricky to do, but a slider will appear. But there is another control on the controller itself, which, again, stay tuned for the next episode. But check out this zoom. We can use the gimbal tilt wheel in conjunction with the function button to control that. And then we can zoom back out. All in 4K. Alright. What about 2.7? 2.7. Same thing. Cool stuff. Cool stuff. Now the drone's not moving. We're at 40 feet up altitude and 30 feet away from me in distance. About 1080. Now again, don't discount 1080. 1080's got a lot of good benefits to it. If you're shooting something that's going to go on social media or go online, shoot it in 1080. I mean, your file sizes are going to be smaller. It's going to be very portable because it's going to be easy to move around as far as a piece of data. You still get these frame rates up to 60 frames, but check out what you can do with zoom. Remember, watch that number, that 1 times. 1.1, 1.2, 3, let's keep going. 2 times, you got 2 times zoom in 180. But wait, there's more. 2.1, 2.2. 4 times zoom. We can go up to 4 times zoom in 1080. So again, that's going to give you the ability to get an even tighter shot if you shoot it in 1080. Now again, there's a lot of likely reasons for that relating to file size and such, but when we come all the way back out here and look at our original shot, that ain't too shabby. I dig it. I love it. And there is so much stuff that we're going to get into when it comes to the cameras. Just to kind of throw a couple more things out there just to get you chomping at the bit. That third column over, we have normal. Excuse me. HDR. 4K HDR at up to 30 frames per second. Seriously, come on. I mean, it's amazing. You can shoot slow motion. Now, in that fourth column over, we kind of get into some of it's the fun stuff. I don't want to call it gimmicky or whatever, but the quick shots and the hyperlapse. And we're not going to probably spend a whole lot of time in. It's more for getting like fun shots, but you can get some creative stuff out there too. Panos, though, are a cool thing that we will be spending an episode on. So that's a little preview of things to come. But to get started, I want to walk you through some of the settings, let you know what's in here. And again, we tap in that top corner for the main settings screen itself. We just scratched the surface because we have more camera settings here. We're going to talk about whether you're shooting JPEG or RAW for your photos. We're going to talk about the histogram, which you saw on my screen, the zebra stripes, how to sync things up, your grid lines, white balance. There's just so much here. And take a look here at storage location. Of course, the drone, the Air 2, holds a micro SD card. I've got like 132 gig card in here now, so that's great. That's plenty. But what if you run out of room? It has 8 gigs built in internal storage. So you've always got 8 gigs built in. Even if you forget a card, you're going to be able to get 8 gigs of data, of footage, of videos, of photos, of whatever. So you've got 8 gigs right there to work with. So again, man, can you tell I'm excited about this thing? This is just really a knock it out of the park drone. So I love it. We're going to explore it a lot. We're going to see how it does as far as really doing some amazing things for your projects. Again, I'm here. You have any questions? Just like Lance Dale, man, he's out probably flying right now, loving his Mavic Mini, and he is going to go wild. He's going to go crazy and be a fantastic drone pilot. So again, if you have any questions like Lance did, shout at me. I mean, if you've got all my contact information, we can get deeper into it as a mentor session with the Indie Brigade. If you want to talk about your production, if you want to talk about setting up shots, again, anything. I mean, I cover this. I do this all day, every day, except I have to qualify that now. My big birthday gift was part of a conspiracy between my brother George and my girl Kelly. Got together and bought me a Xbox with Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Yeah, I can see the hours starting to slip away already. I love it. Thank you guys, man. That was an amazing gift. That knocked it out of the park. George is getting me off the ground and got me killed about 5,000 times last night playing the game. But man, so much fun. Love technology. But again, thank all y'all. I just love you watching the show. Get in touch with me if I can help, if I can do anything, answer any questions, help you pick out a model to buy, or just help you improve your flight skills or camera skills. That's what I'm here for. So get in touch, give me a shout, and I look for you next week, and we're going to have even more fun next week, especially if the weather holds out like this. Man, it's gorgeous today. I'm going to fly all my batteries out. It's just such a beautiful day. So anyway, take care, be safe. Hey, all you people in the path of that hurricane, those hurricanes, those storms, that nastiness, just please be safe, and man, we're thinking about you. Anyway, have a great week, a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.